Go.
Go. Okay. So first off, let me start by saying I'd like to call to order the Park and Recreation Commission meeting of May 10th, 2021. This open meeting of the Needham Park and Rec Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, to suspend public gatherings, and as such, suspend the open meeting requirement to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. For this meeting, we are convening by Zoom as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. With that, I will call to order our meeting. I'm assuming we don't have anyone here for public comment. Is that correct, Stacy? No.
That's correct.
Okay. So first order of business, let me welcome our new assistant director, Fabian. Fabian, can you pronounce your last name for me?
It's Derulo, like the singer.
Oh, like
Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Yes, exactly like it. Yeah, we actually spell it the same. He just changed it so it's easier for people.
Oh,
But he's my second cousin.
no way.
Well then.
Yeah.
Oh,
funny
that's
enough.
awesome.
Yes. Yeah, so it's it's a pretty unique last name, but yes, very easy to say.
Oh, that's really cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, welcome. So I think you have met in person, everyone except maybe Michelle and Dina. Is that correct? Right. So hopefully that will be soon, but
Okay.
He hasn't met
Well-
Bruce in person either, just on the interview process.
Yes,
that's
correct.
but it was on Zoom, right? So, well, welcome, and hopefully we'll be meeting in person sometime soon.
Yes.
Feel free to ask
Absolutely. Thank you.
questions or to stop us. This is only Dina's second meeting, so
Okay.
she also should feel free to stop us and ask questions and hold our feet to the fire if we don't explain something well.
Okay.
Yeah, only my second meeting and I'm late. What's my batting average now?
Nice.
Sorry.
You're making me look good already, Dina. Perfect.
So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. We have, I guess, a full agenda, but hopefully we can zip through it. Thank you, Kristen, for getting the package to us on Friday night. Stacy, do you want to start by going through the director's report?
Yep. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So Monday, May 10th, a day that will live in infamy. Summer programs are going well. It's my birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
No,
I love birthdays.
Yeah.
So if I have to work this late on my birthday, he has to work this late on his first day.
There you go. That's fair.
My birthday is in 3 weeks from today. Will we have a meeting on that day?
No,
No.
Oh, bummer.
I know. Because it's such a big deal.
Yeah. We could Zoom call you if you'd like. It
Is
just
that
sit there for an
Memorial
hour.
Day, Dina?
We could have a meeting, right?
Is that
That's
Memorial
right.
Day? Okay. We could sing another time.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh.
Spring program's going great. When Chris does these bullets for me. Core summer programs are the ones run internally by our department. Vendor programs are for the outskirts of the summer where we're bringing in a whole nother company to run it. So that way we can focus on our programs, but it still gives the residents options for when the kids are actually out of school. Staffing, we have recently hired the assistant summer supervisor. And so now our supervisor team is Chris, Lauren, and Caitlin. Actually, Fabian had a meeting with them today to talk about some of the programs and offerings they're going to do, or like the daily schedule. So that was good. Counselors are being hired slow and steady. So we haven't quite hit the number we're going to need, but they are trickling in. We're probably going to do another big push of marketing to get more applications, because we also need applications on the pool sides of things, definitely. Registration numbers as of Friday are right there. So we're doing pretty good. One of the things that's filling up actually quite a bit is, yep, Michelle?
So just one more question on the summer programs. So there aren't programming like the arts and crafts, like the like, what was it, mini evergreens? So that's not, we're not able to do that, or cricketeer, outdoor camping. So is that why we're using vendors? Because it seems like we're very heavily focused on more vendor activities than typical programs. And that is
So
that
we're
due to space?
we're running 8 weeks. Is it 8 or 7, Kristen?
7.
7. We're running 7 weeks of our program that
All of them?
most of our programs that we're able to run are recess. So these recess programs, Elliott Newman cricket, sports, tennis, and theater are what used to be called Sports Academy.
Sports
Tennis Academy-
specialties.
Sports specialties, Tennis Academy, and
Kids off
it was
Broadway.
fun.
Yep.
Okay.
And Tot
Um,
Recess is Mini Evergreen.
Yep. Top
Michelle.
recess is mini evergreen.
So
and
it's
summer
just
recess
rebranding.
is-
I went to register and I was like, I don't know any of these. I remember the arts and craft one though is one. Yeah, we can't do it.
that we are doing arts and crafts within recess, but we couldn't
Okay.
because of the material sharing. To run a whole camp like that would be a program. Excuse me, would be tough. So
Got
we're
it.
just incorporating it into these programs.
Okay. It just felt very different. Like the experience going on as a parent, I didn't recognize any of the sessions. I mean, and I'm so closely linked to Park and Rec, so it just felt
Right.
very different to me this summer.
Right,
Uh.
and part of that was purposeful so that people didn't expect what we have had in the past. And part of that is also moving in a new direction with some of our programs, but I hear what you're saying. We can probably do, if these are struggling to fill, we can do more marketing, like what used to be known as X is now blah, blah, blah. So people can understand. Cindy
So
would love that,
Michelle-
I'm sure.
Stella, if you remember from last time, I struggled so much with these new program names. Stacy said since we had a new director, we had new program names. Very hard for me to get used to these. But
It's
you
gonna
know,
be
I am-
harder when we eventually move over to camps and I rebrand it all over again, but we'll give you
Right.
we'll give you some heads up about those.
no, I'm good at embracing change. Very good.
Okay. So these are our numbers. The only one that is starting to become starting to fill up is the Bridges program, which like we talked about last meeting is we're working in coordination with the schools, extended summer math and reading program. Those kids are signing up and filling up. So we're trying to, and now ESY, which is a separate extended school year program run out of Sonita, have reached out and we're trying to coordinate an option for them as well. So we will keep you, that program is different because it runs 8 to 1 Monday through Thursday. So we have to be more creative. One of the ideas we have is to move the counselors for our Tot recess program with ends at noon over to Sonita to help them with a post extended school year program. But that is still in conversation, so we will get back to you on that one if it comes up.
So Stacy, you didn't give us any information on the Bridges programs, right?
I did not,
Okay, I didn't see that here. Okay.
but Kristen's gonna pipe in
Yeah.
right now.
Sorry, they didn't have, they had just put out the links. So it all happened over the weekend. And it's
Okay.
just, so far we've had about 8 people register, which for 3 days of registration is fast, like it's a lot.
Mhm.
And I'm sure we'll get more I'm sure if I look again in an hour, it's gonna be more. So it's just a matter of them signing through their,
You know,
Okay. Great.
Unmuting. Can you hear me?
yep.
I just have a quick question because somebody asked me and I didn't know. Apparently an email went out today about a field hockey camp. I'm guessing that's Rocket Camp through the high school. No,
We
you don't
didn't
know
see
about
anything
it?
today.
not
You
us.
didn't? Oh, they said it came from Park and Rec. That's weird. All right, I'll get with her.
If
Okay.
it
Get a copy
has-
of that
if
and
it-
send it to Stacy. That would be great.
Yeah,
I was
hold
gonna
on.
say-
I have a screenshot. She screenshotted it and sent it to me. And I don't even remember.
Only
who
because if
sent
it is from Park and Rec, then one of us has been hacked. So
Okay, I'll look for it and let
Alright.
you know. All right,
Great.
thanks.
all right, fields and facilities. Backstop fencing is basically, I think they're creating it from gold, and we don't know when it's coming in.
Oh.
These are the following outstanding, these are the outstanding fields. We did receive part of this money today. For Needham baseball, softball, we did receive a check today, so that went down significantly. The rest of them we have not received yet. These are outstanding. What we did today is reach out to the spring permit holders for fields, like seasonal holders, to get their rosters so that we can start creating the invoices.
So what's going on with the YMCA? That's troubling to me.
Jalal's
that-
been great. It's a slow process, much like municipal government. He has been very communicative about it. I'm not concerned about it. It's just taking a while.
Okay, all right. Do you need us to get involved or make any phone calls? If you do, let us know.
Yeah, we'll let you know. If we don't, now that we've reached out about these invoices, we're hoping that it triggers like some of these people to come through, but we'll see.
Okay, all right.
Stacy,
Tennis courts, the crack filler
wait.
have been ordered. Oh,
I
wait,
think-
Chris, do
sorry,
you have a question?
just a quick question. Like, I'm just going to use the YMCA as an example. Say they struggle to come up with that. Are we willing to work with them? Like to say, hey, listen, it was light numbers, you know, is it worth, or do you think it's not going to be an issue, or do you think some of these user groups might struggle because of the low numbers of last year?
I mean, if they're charging the same, we're still charging $10 a head or whatever a head. So it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
The Y might be slightly different because they have different overheads than some of the other user groups. But yeah, we would work out a payment plan with them,
Okay.
with whoever needed it.
I was not sure if anyone's ever asked before. I know it was kind of different times last year. But you do bring up the good point. If they ran a program, they still charge for that program.
Right.
Yeah.
So as the financial person, I would not be in favor of that, Chris. I would not offer that.
Okay.
Yeah, they ran a program in order for this fee to run up, so they can pay us. I don't really think the Y is in bad shape.
I was just using them as an example. I wasn't saying it was them. I was just pointing as an example.
But I would follow up on that baseball and softball group because they could be difficult, but I'll leave that for later.
Oh, thank
Did you not hear that they sent a very hefty check today to knock that down?
Did they send 15,000?
No.
Pretty close.
it was
Then it's
low.
not hefty.
They were-
Right, it's not hefty. They didn't pay $15,041. Okay,
The crack is on order. It will be here soon.
okay.
Say that again.
Right.
The crack, fill.
Seasonal bathrooms.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't believe is open yet. There were bigger issues than we thought. We won't go into detail, but it's taking more work.
so today's, in the field update, when we got the, the text and the email that said what fields were closed, it said that Mills was still closed. Was that, it says Cricket and Mills are still not open. Was that just that the email didn't get updated, or is
No,
Mills?
I'm assuming that's puddling, Kristen.
I didn't know if they had made it to clean.
The bathrooms?
Yes, and I was concerned because we had to close some 90s.
Yep.
So did they clean Mills yet?
Yes. Mills has been cleaned. So Mills and Claxton are good. Cricket
Okay.
offline.
So,
Fazio has some new plumbing issues and some maybe vandalism that we're taking care of.
okay.
I don't get it.
Did you notice, one of our new select board members, is making a point that she thinks first of all, she says none of our fields public restrooms, which of course we know is not true, but not all of our fields have them. And she's making it one of her priorities, and apparently it was in her campaign platform, that she was going to get restrooms at all of our fields. I think we should be working with her, because if she wants to jump on that bandwagon, I'm all in favor of it. But
We'll
the
take
field,
it.
the field she mentioned today in her Sunday night post, which she did tonight, was Avery. So she must have a daughter that plays at Avery. And she is totally right. We looked several years ago into how to put a restroom there, even a portable toilet, and we couldn't figure out a way where it was a place that would be accessible to a truck to be dropped off and picked up, and not in the view of those apartments or condominiums. So, but that's a field that if we could address something there, that would be great. But I don't see anything other than a portable situation there. But if she's behind it and is willing to, you know, again, to support that, I think we should go for it.
Which one is Avery?
So Avery is on Webster Street. It's behind, I think it used to be the Avery School, but it is, I think it's condominiums.
It is.
So
Okay.
if you are headed on Webster down towards Needham Heights.
Is it on the right-hand side, like coming from Highland?
Yes, if you're coming from Highland, it's on the right-hand side. It just-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But girls softball has complained for a long time that, it is really difficult. There's no restrooms there. But we couldn't figure out a way to get a portable one in there that wouldn't be right on the driveway. And we think the residents would really be upset with that. But anyway, we should work with this select board member if she's that interested in it. I'm all in favor of taking that help if she's willing to give it.
Kristen,
So sorry.
Go ahead,
There's
Tina.
no porta potty there or anything?
No.
Oh,
I just want to, the porta potties that we are putting down, I just want to be mindful of our finances. The 19 or so weeks that we're getting them is rounding out to be about $28,000.
Wow.
For the 4 locations that we're looking at, one of which is Cricket because of the bathroom problems, but the other ones, it is not an unsubstantial amount of money, and it's not money that we can like absorb without raising fees probably. So it's just something to be mindful of if we're looking to do something like that across all
That's
fields.
just for 4 locations?
4
That's correct.
locations
Mhm.
there are
Through
4
the fall.
locations.
through the fall.
through the
Wow.
fall.
It might be a little bit less when Cricket gets fixed, because Cricket will come offline again. We'll take the porta
Yeah.
potty away when the bathrooms are back up. But with Mills, it was around $36,000 because we priced it out for the whole, just in case Mills had bigger problems.
Yeah.
So
So Kristen, what period? You said 19 weeks?
19, some of them are 19s.
Some are just spring,
Newman is the
Some-
one that's longer.
Wow, I
some
didn't
are
realize that's
all the
so
way through to
expensive.
the October 30th or further. And then in November, we're gonna pick up more for about a couple weeks because the bathrooms will need to be closed, the ones we have, and then we'll have to put porta potties out. We have never factored into the budget porta potties. We've never had them anywhere except for special events. This is a longer term conversation. It's going
Yes.
to have to factor into field fees because we can't support it. We are supporting it this year because there's such a big need from our user groups. In addition to just the public being outdoors more, we've gotten more and more comments. Avery was not on our list. We were trying to look at the high use, totally out, sort of like in the ethers type fields to put them at. Avery did not come across my plate, or I didn't even think of it until you brought it up.
It's
but we
really
can
small
add it.
though. It's
It's
small.
very small. I
isn't
don't
it?
know about the usage, but we do have to factor in the cost. But if the select board wants to change our budget, sure, we'll put porta
Well,
potties where we want.
No, and I think shame on us for not thinking about this, and and I mean me not thinking about this, because this should be in our budget.
It should be.
we should be providing these facilities. And if we're gonna have all these plumbing problems, which is amazing to me, how many we have, then we should have a budget for this. And whether we have it covered by user fees or it's in our operating budget, it doesn't make a difference. I think that people want it and the residents, you know, if they're asking for it, I don't think it's an unreasonable ask by any stretch. So it is
No,
it is part of a bigger conversation, but I think we should find that money. And if it means we have to raise the user fees for this year in the fall, then let's talk about it. That's a bigger process than just raising the fee, but we can do
Yeah.
it.
Did
I
this,
agree. I
like,
think this is a no-brainer. We just have to figure out how to finance it.
Right,
Did it-
agreed.
did this select board member like reach out to any of you guys at all? Oh,
No,
No,
okay.
she just does a weekly Sunday update
yes,
Oh.
on Facebook, I think.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
But we'll take all the help
Bruce?
we get.
I was just gonna say, can this be added as a surcharge for this year until the facilities are all fixed? So it's not a permanent fee increase.
Well, only one facility is, we're only putting porta potties at one facility that shouldn't have one. The rest of them are, we just don't have them.
Well, Avery doesn't have any, right?
Right.
Right. Avery is a different problem, Bruce, because we couldn't figure out how to situate one there. So that has, we maybe need to do some kind of construction there to make a place for it. But the other fields that Stacy's talking about, which I think was Cricket and maybe DeFazio, I'm not sure.
Aren't the bathrooms open at DeFazio now, though?
They're open right now, Dean, but when we winterize them before the end of season happens in the fall.
Oh.
So then we have to put up porta potties for a couple weeks. And we are not required, but I require that they're all wheelchair accessible. So
Yeah,
we put up one accessible porta potty in each place.
yeah,
At
absolutely. It should be.
DeFazio at the end of the season, we'll put up more because of
Yeah.
just the large numbers.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, thank you. To be discussed further. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Basketball courts are going along. Kristen and I have a knack of scheduling a day of rain every single time. We all know I'll melt, so we don't go out. Playgrounds, I met with representatives from Compan at Perry Park, and they're working on some ideas and some schematics for us. And once I receive them, I will send them along. Emmy O'Brien, which is from Landscape Structures, did the original mock-ups. And I will reach out to them to think about some other ideas over at Perry Park. One of the things I did notice when I was at Perry Park, first of all, it's beautiful. What a great little park. So much shade, so much just like, but we'll have longer, deeper conversations about this later. But if we, Massachusetts is now basically requiring either like a lot of port in place or turf, which is what we have over at Newman. But that is a very large area to do either of those things. So we may think about changing up the look of it. I mean, some of it looks like there's a lot of dead space. I'm guessing that things have been pulled out over the years. And so there's a lot more open space than necessary, but they'll be reaching out. That was a good thing. I did notice the field over there is struggling.
yeah, it has potential though, Stacy. I mean, when
Yeah.
I was there in the fall, it wasn't the right, because there's just not enough space. It wasn't the like right dimensions, but like just a little bit of TLC, I feel like. And I think it's a great space for a little mini soccer field, mini
Yep.
field hockey, mini whatever. Like
Yep.
it's a hidden gem. I didn't even know about it until I was there, by the way.
Yep. This is the first time I've actually seen it in person.
Yeah.
Which was great. And we had a great day on Friday. It was beautiful out.
Yeah.
And I drove up and there was all these cars and I was ready to get out of my car and yell at people who were running a program without a permit. And it was just the neighborhood kids. just
Yeah.
Hanging out. So it was
Yeah.
pretty
The
awesome.
parking is tricky and the drop off because it's in that like, triangle. I called it the Bermuda Triangle just in the fall because
Yep.
there were several almost, substantial car accidents because people don't pay attention, but I think it's a gem, a hidden gem.
Yep.
Stacy,
And
how
one
did-
of the reasons I was working on Perry Park is I'm concerned about a lot of the permitting over at DeFazio, and we've got some feedback already. But B, DPW is doing a traffic pattern change over there. They have a project, so ideally, if we can hook our projects together, we would tear up the neighborhood for one time only, as opposed to two back-to-back projects. So.
Stacy, how did the asphalt area look? Did you
Covered
over at-
in engineered wood fibers that are being spread this weekend.
at Perry? So
There's
was
just a
there,
big mound, so I don't know. Because I
Okay.
walked over there and was like, okay.
all right, so we have had quite a problem every year with people dropping off toys there, and they drop off little riding toys, little tricycles.
Oh,
And at
there was
times,
one or two, but nothing.
sometimes there will be 20 of them. And
There's a
it has
park
to-
near my house where the same issue, everything's broken and it's horrible.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
there was like one or two little things that looked totally fine, so,
could you see pickleball over there?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how pickleball players feel about it, but yes, it's definitely doable.
Okay, so I think I mentioned to you, Stacy, that Dina and I had a Facebook message from Kate Roby. And it went back and forth a few times. Dina, I think, I don't know if you were on all of
I
them.
didn't actually notice it because my Facebook Messenger acts weird. I actually didn't see it until there was a lot of back and forth. So I was trying to get caught up on it. But I was going to say that she actually texted me because I know her through her niece for field hockey. She texted me like, just wanted to put a bug in your ear about pickleball courts. And I was like, I literally was on the commission for like 3 seconds before I got that text.
Well, it was, so I did see it and then I responded, trying to be responsive. And then it got into like a back and forth till I finally just stopped. But she's pushing, and rightfully so, accessible playground equipment and had a lot of ideas. And I did suggest, Stacy, that she reach out to you and that as our relatively new director, that not only would you be very responsive, but that you were very interested in playgrounds. But she has a lot of ideas. She's very vocal, has a lot of ideas. And there was a thread on Facebook kind of criticizing how Needham doesn't have very much in the way of accessible playground equipment, which we know that what we have maybe is lacking in some areas. But I'm thinking we probably will need to address that sooner rather than later. And I don't know
Without a
where
doubt,
that fits
yeah.
your plan. I know you're all over playgrounds.
Mhm. Yes, I mean, she hasn't reached out. I'll be happy to meet with her. I'm meeting with a different person concerned about accessibility at Greens this Friday for the same kind of reasons. You know, she has a child that needs a little bit more help, and there's not a lot of places, especially during the day, to go to that aren't attached to schools. There's a few, but you can't access the playgrounds next to the schools during the day. So
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's going to have to be a focus of ours over probably a shorter term than I had envisioned, but we can talk about that in the capital plan too. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Skate park. We have set up a meeting with Ben, the
Kerrigan.
skate park guy. What's his name?
Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
Cindy and Chris will know, and Michelle probably know him. He's the skateboard enthusiast that was on staff several years ago when this was first brought in. And we reached out to him and I was like, hey, Ben, can you like show us some things about the skate park?
So I had reached out to a few people at DPW and I got very mixed reviews on the skate park. Some people think it's totally, completely junk and we just have to get rid of it. Some people think it'll be maybe fine. Some people think it's short money, we could just go out and buy some new ones. Ben was like, oh, I'm happy. Kristen talked to Ben. He's happy to come out. We're gonna meet with him. He is gonna put it together and see how it looks set up, and then he'll help us transport it. I think, or he wants to help us transport it, although I've heard it is extremely heavy, which makes sense. So we're gonna meet with him on the 20th, and then hopefully if there's not a lot of concerns, we'll put it up the following week.
Okay, it would be great to get it out. It wasn't a lot of money when we bought it, but it wasn't cheap, but it was relatively short money, and I don't think it should be in bad shape. And the reason we bought it is because it's a pop-up skate park and it is relatively portable. And I think, is it still at Ridge Hill? Because it just shouldn't be sitting in that old barn at Ridge Hill. It should be out where.
It's in the
maybe-
garage at Ridge Hill. Yep.
Yeah, so it
And
should
I
be-
went up there like thinking like I'm just gonna throw it in the back of my car and move it.
No,
No,
no, you
that was
need
not a
help.
thing that happened.
no, you need some serious help to move that. You need a vehicle.
Yep.
But it is portable. I mean, it can be done. It
Yep.
doesn't require a moving company or a crane or anything, but, and it should be out there. We have this stuff and it's, I feel like we've been trying to get it out there for, I don't know, 2 years, would you say, Michelle? Yeah.
I would say
So-
it's only been out like how many months has it actually been used? 4, maybe? So there's no reason why it would be damaged unless it was damaged when it was removed and stored. It's not from use. So that's
Right.
problematic.
It's disappointing. We had high hopes for it. Pop-up skate park, it seemed like a great thing to do. And just, it seems like it's been hard for us to just get it out there. So, so keep us informed. Thank you.
Sure. Trails. The trail markers, the budget passed for that, and Exchange Club volunteered to put them out. Thank you. Exchange
Yes.
Club.
Would that be helpful? Remember the Exchange Club? I'm in the
I have
Exchange Club.
no idea.
Okay, came up that would be a great service project. If we can do that, we would be happy to be involved. So,
Kristen has a thing.
So the funding that just got funded was design. So it's going to be several years before there's actual at least 1 year before there's markers probably. Because they still have to construct, and they're also looking at like big kiosks to be installed. That was like a big part of it, was like redoing all of our kiosks. So we had similar kiosks at every location, as well as trail markers that matched and weren't like just random. But there's trail markers that we can put up that we have that are existing. But that project is going to be at least a year to 18 months, I would say, probably out.
so that $60 was for design, not for markers.
Design.
So we had markers. We had lots of markers that we had designed and we bought. Clearly I've been on the commission too long, but
They're in
we
the
went-
office. We have
Oh,
them, all
process.
of them.
And they haven't all been put out.
I mean, they have. We can always probably put more, but I don't think anyone's gone out and done it in several years. And I don't know what direction Concom is going to want to go in. They'll bring you in, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah, they should, because so I will say we are as important as they are in this, because a lot of those trails are ours. So we can work with them, but it's our project too. I mean, Ridge Hill is theirs, but the town forest and many of the other trails are ours. So, but we went through a whole process. So we had these things designed and they had some kind of, I don't know, pine tree or some whatever. I mean, I didn't really care what they were, but and we went over the damn color. And you're telling me that we have some that haven't been put up and we're starting again.
They're gonna change, yes, the answer is yes, and they're all in the office. And the second part to this that's gonna come out is the design logo that they currently have has had a lot of complaints because it is very strictly one gendered. So they're gonna make a more inclusive.
Can we
trail
just have a
marker.
tree? Can we have a tree that has like no gender? Just a tree? Like,
Sure,
Sure.
But I think part of the process is redesigning that logo because it is a boy and a man, and that is it. So,
All right, I don't even remember the logo. I don't recall that it had any gender, but
Yeah.
just,
we've gotten complaints about it and Concom, so that is definitely gonna be changed.
Maybe
Or
we
you-
just draw a skirt on every other one.
Really,
Get a permanent Sharpie.
so we just
Then we
make
have to
this,
go about non-binary. How do you draw that?
yeah.
True.
Just draw. Does it have to be a person? Can it just be a symbol, a bird, a rocket? No. Just make it a rocket and have that rocket point whatever direction the trail goes, and there you go. I just don't understand why anyway, I'm not yelling at you guys. It's frustrating.
It's a rocket. It could be confused as ammunition, and then that could be aggressive.
Oh my Lord, I just can't stand it. We just want a trail marker. And the kiosk, we did have some kiosks built, but it wouldn't surprise me if they need to be rebuilt. And we were having Eagle Scouts do them, and our experience with Eagle Scouts sometimes is great and sometimes ends up like the canoe rack, right? Where it just doesn't work the way you want it. So I'm all for that, but if the Exchange Club can help, I'm guessing that project is not near term, and I'll relay that back to them. We would be willing, so.
What's a
Sounds good.
kiosk on a trail? Sorry.
That big wooden thing that people put signs on.
It would be at the,
What's it for?
it would
Put
be at
trail
the,
maps on it.
yeah, it would,
Oh,
Yeah.
Like an
Give
informational
information
booth.
about it.
yeah.
What kind of
So-
wildlife is there?
gotcha.
Generally,
Okay.
the parking lot, right where you start, and it would give you lots of
Keep your
information.
dog leashed,
Oh, okay.
pick
Yeah,
up after your dog.
yeah.
Yeah, lots of dog information,
You know, the
Right.
things people don't read.
Mhm.
right? So we probably need to resurrect the Trails Committee, right?
We are working on that, actually. I believe that. Is that on the agenda?
I don't think so. I don't know. No, but at the, and we won't get to it anyway. All right. All right.
Fabian doesn't know, but he's the new head of that. He's very excited.
And
There
good
you
luck
go.
with the design on the trail markers. right?
Oh, boy. Just something to look forward to. Perfect.
Are you an artist? Just kidding.
A pretty bad one. Yeah.
You're hired. You got
You're
the job.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're all set.
Oh,
Can you draw a rocket? Just really quick.
all right.
throw a rock.
We should stay away from rockets.
All right, I'm gonna keep it going because we have a lot of special events.
You do.
And
Yeah.
Cindy has a lot of questions. So pools. Staffing is trickling. Definitely. I've gotten a few lifeguards coming in. We're gonna do a bigger push with the high schools and reach out to the local colleges, do a bigger online campaign for that because this is not new and it's not surprising, but we do want to keep pushing so that they keep coming in. The tentative pool schedule is in the packet and we have met. We are full up on memberships. Things
Okay.
that match.
Terrific. Do you see the Facebook comments on that, Kristen? There was some Facebook comments out there about,
You guys are on Facebook a lot.
I will
read
look
that stuff.
again. I was trying to keep up with them.
yeah, I don't
Cindy-
to address it. That woman, Jill Kahn, seems to answer every question, so.
Well, Cindy, when I was working with Cindy, because Cindy posted it and then I shared it and I shared all the stuff. And, Cindy was like, hey, there's some stuff on the Needham stuff. Do you think you could handle those questions? And I was like, sure. And so I just went and like rapid fire answered them all. And she was like, okay. And I was like, I hope people don't think that I'm sitting here like on Facebook. Like I did it in all like 20 minutes and I'll like come back at another time. But, I'm not on Facebook. Spoiler alert, I'm not on Facebook all the time because I didn't even see the updates. I haven't looked at Needham since last week.
I seem to get notifications about anything on the Needham page. I'm not sure how that got set up. Okay. So a question on staffing, are you concerned that it's taking longer to hire than maybe you expected?
No,
No? Okay, all
No
right,
concern.
okay.
I think,
Alright.
I mean, I think it's gonna be different this year, right? The coffee shops are open, the restaurants are open, you know, kids have options. So last year they didn't have any options. It was easy. This year they're gonna have more options. And some other places may pay slightly more than municipal government job does. So, you know, this is the same thing we would fight any other year. We just didn't have to deal with it last year, so.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
the
Cindy,
boat
I
launch-
mentioned earlier, oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, I mentioned earlier too, because we were discussing it, how this is happening everywhere. Where I just came from, we're short 30 camp counselors going into summer, 30 of them.
wow.
So major crisis. So yeah, this is kind of the struggle of everything opening back up at once, and us not paying a ton of money for these positions, you know?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too bad. Last year was easy to hire people because these kids didn't have too many options, so.
That's right. Yeah.
All right,
For the boat dock, I'm meeting with Time Bond this week. Time Bond is our contract engineer company that we rotate through 4 different companies, and this is the one assigned to this project. So I'm working with Adam Yanulis, and I'm meeting with him Thursday, just to look at the dock changing locations, and what it looks like. Kate Fitzpatrick stopped by last week to chat, and I showed her what I was thinking about. She thinks it's a great idea. So we should be moving forward with that. That project will not begin until the fall, regardless of anything, because we're not going to put construction next to the pool in the middle of pool season. But we
Right.
are going to get everything ready to go. So once the pool closes, we can get down there.
okay. Ty and Bond did the open space plan. They were great to work with. I don't know that we ever actually finished our open space plan, but it's gone. It was moving along. Okay, all right, great. All right, thank you, Stacy. So we went through directors report. Do you have anything to add on spring and summer programs, fields, projects, or the pools? I don't think so, right? Commissioners,
The only thing I have to add is the 50% marker. I just wanted to, with the pool schedule as is laid out in your packet, we have 32,000 spots that people could register for. And this is not including posts. This is just the preseason and the regular season. And with the number of members that currently have memberships, not memberships, but members, it looks like every individual person could come 10 times in the weeks we have. So something to keep in mind. I know that there was a call for perhaps more memberships or something like that, but that's the 50%. And that's the concern that we were fighting against, right? Of just having a free for all of letting everybody have a membership. Right now, if every individual member was to come 10 times, then we would have no additional time slots for anybody else the whole summer.
and do you expect that we would make any changes based on what the governor was talking about today, where things are going to be, at 100% or whatever at some point? I mean, I'm assuming where we are right now with our plan is where we will stay.
I think right now we have to stay here until we max out on our staffing. I don't want to consider more
Okay.
memberships until we figure that out. That needs to be focused on at the moment. I would imagine at that point, if really everything is cured on August 1st, that's the same time where we're going to start to lose staff slowly. So it wouldn't make sense to add membership and lose staff at the same time. Maybe we open up more non-member swaps or drop-ins or whatever, and we can be creative, but I think that memberships are at the right spot for the summer.
Okay.
And we just be creative about other things.
All right. Any questions from the commissioners? Comments? No. Okay. Next on the agenda, town meeting and special town meeting. So we did make it through a special town meeting on Saturday, and then town meeting itself on the Monday night, and it was long, cold. It was really cold, but we finished. And Chris, you and our town meeting members, do you want to address it at all? You're welcome to. chip
No, I
in.
mean, it was nice to get special town meeting done in one day, and it was nice to get the regular town meeting done on that Monday. It did go a little bit longer than I think anticipated, but I mean, it was good. The questions that I know we had for CPC articles, there were valid questions. Not a lot of questions in regards to Park and Rec, but it was good to see us get through all the items that we needed to.
So our projects, the track project passed, McLeod Field, McLeod passed,
Every article passed for
Yeah,
CPC.
passed. There was one question which I thought was a valid question where somebody asked why we weren't paying for the track project out of the athletic facility fund, and the answer was we used that money already for the turf projects last year, and this was really more maintenance, but otherwise really not controversial at all. No questions on our budget, even though our budget had like a 25% increase from the year before, and we were over $1 million. I'm sorry, how much?
22.
22%, sorry, 22%. Thank you. I appreciate that precision. But no questions. So I don't know if people were too cold to ask any budget questions, but there were virtually 0 budget questions. So $200 million budget slipped right through. So that was good. Any questions, comments on special town meeting or town meeting? Oh, okay. Conflict of interest and commission onboarding. Oh, Stacy, that's you, right?
It is. We're still trying to work with HR to try and get some more information to onboard the commission. Fabian is getting hit with about 1,000 meetings over the next 2 weeks, meeting different departments and different people. And he's gotten some light reading to do, so that's good. Some budget stuff. It's very exciting. But we do need to figure out a little bit more in depth. I did reach out to public health to see how they onboard their commissioners, so I'm gonna try to model what they do in a similar way.
Okay, could
Stay
you make sure, I can't remember if I asked this last week, that Dina gets a copy of our policies, our field policies, our light policy?
I feel like I have that somewhere.
Did you get all that? Okay.
I think so, yeah. But when you're saying, because I forgot to ask this last time, but what does that mean, conflict of interest on the commission? Is there like conflict of interest training? Is that what you mean?
So yes, and
Okay.
if you have not already gotten an email from Teddy, you will. Maybe you check that other email that you have. But or it could have bounced, but basically there's an online training through mass.gov that basically is an ethics training. It's online. You have to do it every time you re-up your board membership, you have to do it. We all do it as staff members when we are hired, and then every 2 years.
Is there a link to it?
We'll make sure you get it. I'll make sure
Okay.
you get that.
Okay.
That would be great. I'm assuming that Bruce has all of that. All of our policies and our procedures, not
Why
all
don't
of
we
them.
just send it out to the whole commission so you guys all have the brand new updated?
That
You
would-
should also have the link in your welcome packet that Teddy handed to you the day that you were sworn in.
Yeah.
It should have
Yeah, I
been the
was
first
looking
page.
for it, but I couldn't find it. So I may have like
You
misplaced
recycled
that
it, we know.
specific piece of
Okay.
paper.
We'll get it
What'd
to
you
you.
say? Did somebody say something?
No,
Oh.
it's not recorded.
I didn't hear it. That would be good. It's just good to read through that stuff once, and then when we talk about it, it will make more sense to you.
Yeah,
Not that-
we'll send it to everybody and then we can all be on the same page about things.
Okay, that would be great. All right. And in terms of conflict of interest, again, if we go to vote on something, a program or a fee or anything, and it's a program that you're associated with,
Yeah, I have to recuse
you're
myself.
right.
Yeah,
And we should all do that. And honestly, we haven't been so good about that in the last year, but we'll blame it on COVID because we were just crazy. But we'll be better about it. Okay, then Newari vision statement.
Mhm.
What's that, Stacy? Do they want us to adopt it or vote on it or?
They want us to vote our support of it.
Okay,
And as we work through some of our, as we work to update some of our mission and vision goals and our own statements, that we adopt some of the language, some of the statements in here. If you look on page 2 of that, it's not page 2 in your packet, but it's page 2 of the Newari statement. But actually
Yep.
the last, I don't know what page, Kristen, do you know what page I'm
Page
looking at?
7,
page
8,
7,
9.
yeah.
So supporting the following intentional practices will help Needham realize the vision for racial equity. Basically, like I said, I talked to Kate Fitzpatrick and they're just looking for a vote of support from the commission. Somebody makes a motion to say, we support it and we will
All
work
right. And so we-
to embrace these goals and recommendations from Newari.
All right, so should we do that tonight? It's under discussion items as opposed to action items, but if you don't
We can
mind,
do it now. We can do it now. We can bounce around. It's okay.
I'm just saying that because our former director would not have let us vote anything that was under
It's under,
discussion.
it's under both, Cindy.
Huh?
4C. 4C is also the action
Yeah,
item.
Gotcha,
it's in
okay.
there.
It's in both places. Kristen, I don't know that would have been allowed either, but I like that. All right. So when we get to that, we'll vote on it. Okay, we'll see if there's a motion. Okay, great. Thank you. Fabian, as you can tell, we are a well-oiled machine, this commission. Okay, CPC.
It's more entertaining this way, so I don't mind it.
We're just glad we have a lot of people who drop into our meetings.
That's right.
CPC, anything additional on CPC? I think
No,
covered-
I think we might have a follow-up meeting coming up, but then after that, it's probably one in the summer or late fall that we'll have one, and they'll be gearing up for the next round starting in December of this year.
Okay, so the only thing I would ask the commission is to keep in mind if there are any projects that you think we should have on the agenda for potentially asking CPC for the funds, so that we're not scrambling in November. But if you have any ideas, or if the staff is keeping the lists, that would be helpful. So I'll just ask you to keep that in mind. Okay, Reservoir Trail naming, anything new on that? Are we stuck on that Amity Trail?
Just looking for your feedback on that, and I realize now it's A, not in your packet, and B, I believe only Chris and Cindy got it. So what I can do is send it out tomorrow morning, and then if you have any feedback, you can send it to me individually. Because it's not a vote or anything, it's just they're looking for your feedback on the renaming of that trail. And Kate is compiling a list of suggestions, comments, or concerns. And so if you could send those to me, I'll send it out tomorrow and as a reminder what to do.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay. Thank you. Capital projects, I think this is here because I asked for it to be here. Is that why? So my concern with capital projects is that we talk about things as the year goes by, that we should add this to the capital plan. And then when it comes time to do the capital plan, it's, it's usually due like tomorrow, and I don't feel like we've given much discussion or much thought to what we want to add. So if you have any projects that we have discussed that should be in the capital plan, or that we should think about asking to be moved around in the capital plan, for example, playgrounds, specific playgrounds, maybe specific structures. I think that would be a good idea. Park and playground, park and field restrooms. If we want to upgrade or add some or move those around, I think we should think about those in the capital plan.
I have
Don't
a
know what-
running list so that I keep on a Google Drive because I often things pop into my head and I have to write them
Yes.
down. So if you think of something and just email or shoot me a text or whatever, I can add it to the list so that it's just always kind of present.
Okay, that would be great. I mean, particularly as we're talking about playgrounds and different playgrounds, and obviously, as much as we'd love to do all of that stuff all at once, I don't think that's realistic for us, but it would be nice for us to have a pretty well organized plan with priority. And the commission did prioritize playgrounds a while back, but I think with the latest report we got from Nancy White, we may have some different thoughts on the priorities just based on the needs from that report. Okay, commissioners, if you have anything, feel free to chime in.
Do you think you could send an updated list of that items that we have on the capital plan just for a reference?
I mean, Michelle, maybe a new skate park. I don't know.
High on the list.
You have a list.
Michelle's like, I'll send you a link because I can't send a list. The document's too large.
Yes. Well, feel free, please, if you send all of the, if you have something on the list, send it to Stacy and Kristen and Fabian and, so who's ever keeping that list can keep it for us because we're not that good at keeping it. So we get that. Great. Thank you. All right. Item G is permitting fees.
That one's me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's not me. I didn't have that
So I'm
one.
bringing this up for two reasons. One, the first one was the NCE Needham Community Ed fees. After doing a little digging, they really are part of the schools, which means we're charging ourselves
Yeah,
in
that's-
general because they're part of the town. So that kind of gets
Yeah.
pushed aside. The other reason I brought it up is because I reached out to which temple, because I get it wrong every time and I don't want to get it wrong.
Echelon.
Thank you. About their usage of Avery Fields.
Yeah.
And I received a response of one of the principals over there. I've not spoken to this person, but a very grateful voicemail that said, yes, we've been using the fields. We've been using them for the last 11 years. At least as long as I've been here, we use that. We use cricket, playground. We'd be happy to fill out any permits so that, because we want to be, above board on everything. So just let us know what you need. They have
Wow.
never paid
Wow.
for a permit, which is why I was bringing it up to you guys before I got back to her again about maybe I guess you didn't know that from your responses, but
We did not know
should
that.
think about this. This is going to be a new thing for them. I am certainly not saying that they shouldn't be permitted or paying fees, but this will be a big change. And so I think we have to have a bigger conversation than just sending them an invoice and figure out what exactly their needs are. Obviously, their needs are during the day, so they're not affecting any of our needs except for the usage of the fields and the wear and tear on the fields,
Mhm.
which does certainly come into play. They do have a K-12 school. I don't know how many members or students they have, but there is some wear and tear.
So,
But I'm not saying that we should have that giant conversation right now. I think that's a bigger conversation in general
Yeah.
with some of the schools, because now we're back. St. Joe's, had the same concerns. They're using Greensfield, but that's very out in the open. I don't know if Avery is just hidden enough that nobody noticed. I don't know, but it is probably not going to cease being a need in town for some of these private schools to be using our fields. And they are getting hammered. The
Mm.
fields.
yeah, so that's interesting. So first of all, I didn't know Temple Beth Shalom had a school. So I'm way back at that. I don't know if anyone else knew they had a school, but that is news to me.
We have a K-12 school. When I went online to get a contact number, that's how I found out.
K through 12. Wow.
I think it went in when they did the addition years ago. So, I mean, but to hear 11 years they've been doing this,
The
Exactly.
woman said we've been using the fields as long as I've been here.
floored by
They've been
that.
great and so helpful. She was very nice.
That's very, very nice, but yeah.
That's
it's a
good for
private.
them.
I mean,
So before
Wow.
I go back to her and say, actually, there's a fee, I don't know if we should have a specific conversation about private schools using our fields and how we're going to charge them. Because right now we've just been playing it by ear and trying to figure it out as we go. But I think we should probably come up with some sort of policy around this.
I think we should too. And I will tell you that we have had private schools come in and use our fields. I think of Nobles coming in and using it for track or cross country and driving the bus in, their mini buses in, and we said, get out. We didn't offer them a fee. We just said, get out. Not a Needham school, right? But if Temple Beth Shalom has a school, they are in Needham. So I think that is a whole different animal. but it is a private school, so yeah, I think there should be some fee structure, and we did kind of tiptoe around it with St. Joe's, but we ended up asking them for money, which looks like they haven't paid, but we did ask them for money. So I think you're right, that is a larger conversation, and I think that they need to have some inkling that there's a fee structure and there's procedures, and we need to know about insurance and contacts and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a bigger conversation. I mean, any thoughts from the commissioners? What do you think?
No, I agree. I think there just needs to be consistency, because if we're, saying one thing to St. Joe's and we're restricting greens because of the amount of use, and Avery may not get as much. So I think we would need to, decide if usage, like overall usage, impacts their ability to have more field time, or if it's just a standard sort of expectation for all schools, because it would differ depending on which field they're requesting to use. And I do think there should be consistency in our approach.
I mean, I
Right.
think they should my opinion, my 2 cents for what it's worth is like, they go through the same permitting process everybody else does, right?
They should.
Yeah,
Yes, they should. I think it's, what I found with St. Joe's is it's tricky to charge them per person.
oh,
I think in general, if schools are gonna have access, like, we can figure this out when we have a different meeting, but, because they were like, well, there's 12 kids in this class and there's 4 class, that's a little bit more
Right.
complicated than coming up with a different type of fee structure for schools.
yeah.
Private schools, but yes, I think that has to be part of it.
Right.
They should
Right.
definitely have to still apply, get the permit, the same process.
Right, and maybe we have fee structure for these in-town private schools. Again, I feel differently about schools that are not in Needham. I say you can't use it. I also feel, I think St. Joe's, and I'm gonna guess Temple Beth Shalom schools are a different fee structure than say the ISL schools, right? That schools or Dedham Country or any of those are a whole different ball of wax.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
Yep.
and, I would like to be a neighbor, but, a good neighbor. I mean, I'd like to be a good neighbor to these schools, but they need to go through the process, and maybe we need to think about the fee structure. So,
Yep.
okay. All right. Great. All right. So that we will talk about that further. Thank you.
I will try to put that on a agenda where we have a little bit more time.
Okay.
And more lead up so that we can have that conversation. Once we
Yes.
get a
Right.
little bit more through these special permits.
Right. And if you want to talk to, if you want one or two commissioners to talk with you offline and then present it back to the whole commission, we can do it that way too, whatever works.
That would probably be ideal, yes.
Yeah,
would
that
we
would probably
need-
make sense.
Eddie looped into this, like around like adding more usage to, because we're adding more feet to the fields
Yes.
across the board. So
Right.
if he's
Word
on
it.
board and aware of this request and understanding what that impact would be, I think is
Right.
crucial.
I'm guessing that this usage must be relatively low, or he would have noticed it already, right?
Point.
But still, we don't want to let it go. All right. All right.
With
Thank
the
you.
size of the building at Temple Beth Shalom, there can't be that many students, not compared to St. Joe's.
Right. I agree. I'm gonna have to look online and see what that school is, because that's news to me that they even had a school. I mean, I assumed they had a religious school component, but not a whole school. So, all right. All right. So where are we now, Stacy?
Fee structures,
Fee structures.
vendor summer program approvals. Some of them are classes and some of them are programs.
Okay. All right. So,
Per your request, Cindy, if you would like,
Yeah.
I can go over the ones that are repeats that we've had before.
Okay.
90% of them, more than 90% of them are new. Everything's new with COVID. So it's not, these aren't programs we've offered before. They may be ones that we add in for the future, for sure.
Okay, so thank you. So just for the rest of the commission, I sent a note today. And just say, can you let us know which of these are new? Because they all look new to me. Most of them look new to me. And then I thought maybe I'm just, having another senior moment, but they look new. And then I wanted to know if any of the fees were changed, if they weren't new. So it wasn't my imagination. Most of them are new. Okay, thank you. So do you need us to vote on these individually?
No,
Not,
the ones that are existing are actually ones we ran this spring, and the pricing structure is the same. It's
Okay,
adult tennis, junior golf, adult golf, and puddle stompers, adult child.
okay,
Everything else is new or changed. An example of changed would be the youth paddleboard class. We previously had offered this in the summer as like a 3-day program where we bus them from DeFazio to Newton. We're not doing transportation this year. It's a 1-day program, so it's different. It's not the same program, but it's the same activity. And then there's an adult one, which we did not have in prior years.
okay,
The Diane Benson ones, she offers a variety of programs, so they're never like the same. These fees are in line with what we've charged in the past for her programming, but none of them are apple to apple. It's youth programming. The Lego Adventures is probably the closest thing, but it's a smaller number. So it's it's a little different, but everything else is new.
right, it looks like by and large, everything's new except tennis lessons and pole stompers.
okay, all right.
Everything
So-
else is new or totally
Okay.
changed.
And that's how it looked to me, except I did recognize Diane Benson's name. So I'm like, wait, that's confusing. Okay, so thank you for explaining that. I am happy to entertain a motion to approve all of the fees. However, do any of the commissioners have questions on any of the programs or any of the fees?
Can I get a brief description of Viking sports at Memorial?
It's just a vendor program that comes out and does a sports camp,
Okay, just a name thing, not like
and they all wear the Viking helmets during the game. at all
sign
times.
me up.
Oh, it's just the name of the company.
Oh, I thought it was a Viking thing too, Chris. I'm with you. Like, wow, that's cool.
I had a senior moment. Great.
Yeah, I'm happy. Okay, anyone else have a question or, and these fees are structured based on the cost of the vendor plus a piece
Our
for,
admin.
right, okay,
Yep.
okay. All right, well, if there's no questions, I would entertain a motion. I would, before we vote, I would like to alert the commissioners, I do belong to the Needham Golf Club, and I see that some of our golf lessons are at the Needham Golf Club. So if we vote on all of them, I can't recuse myself from just a piece of that, can I? Is that
Yes,
a
you
problem?
can.
I can? Okay, I don't think I don't see it as an issue unless someone has a problem with it.
If it makes you feel better, it is not a payment to the golf club. It is a payment to the person that runs the lessons.
But that's Harry, right?
So it's not directly to the golf club, but
Harry is the
You
pro.
can't benefit from it, is what she's saying.
Yeah,
So Harry's gonna collect the money. He's not gonna give it to the club, so I don't think you have to worry about it.
right. I don't actually think. Oh, but okay. All right, so I would entertain a motion to approve these fees.
I would like to make a motion to approve the 2021 summer program fees, part 3 of all the ones indicated in front of us that were sent in our packet.
Second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Passage unanimous. Thank you, Kristen and Stacy for that. Okay,
And these are the summer programs that will be available like later this week, right? Is that right? Yeah,
Friday.
14th. Yeah.
They'll go live on our registration Friday.
okay.
Okay, special events.
Now we have
Woohoo.
This crazy number of events. I just have never seen this meeting after meeting. Kristen, if there's a way for you to make it simpler, I don't know how hard it is for you to put all of the forms in for us. If that is an incredible job, is there something you can do that is less time consuming? Because I did read through them today, but it's a lot of pages.
That's why I thought the summary was helpful. But I mean, it's fine. I pull them off the drive and then I sort them by date so that they're in kind of the same order that the overview is in. The overview has everything I think that you can pull. Like the forms are 6 pages long because it asks the question and goes to the next question, and it lists every single field and property we have in town. So that is a page and a half itself. But I try to compile the information that's like, yes, this is what it's a part of it. We charge a fee. We don't charge a fee. We want a food truck. We need a bathroom. We need lights. You know, I try to pull out the highlights in the overview. If it's not helpful, the overview, if it's not helpful, I'm happy to stop doing it. But
No, I found COVID very helpful. Very helpful. And then I do go through the forms. I went through them today and just to see if I have any questions, but the overview is very helpful.
Okay.
All right. So,
I agree. The overview is very helpful.
all right, here we go. Bumps, babies, and beyond.
so this is the young version. So of the Temple Beth Shalom curriculum, this is the young group. So they have support groups for parents or mothers and fathers that are becoming parents. And that's bumps. And then there's little baby programs and like infant toddler caregiver groups, and then like actual like toddler art classes and things of that nature. And they are looking to use the pavilion for most of it.
Ooh.
So did this already start? I mean, it's started last week, right? Thursday, May 6th.
It did. So we approved a similar one on cricket.
Okay, yes.
Why
So
not?
how will we handle these conflicts?
So I let them know that in the future, they really need to wait for an approval before they start having a program here, regardless of any fee structure that may have been voted on previous to the new. I did tell them that they would have to not hold the program that day if there was a conflict, because we can't go back. Like we can't tell Mark Miskin that he can't have the pavilion on a Friday before Memorial Day tournament. Like that's not a thing. The other
thing they can do is we can slide them over to the tot lot on the conflicts, or we can just slide them to the tot lot. In general, my guess is they ask for the pavilion so they don't have to walk the kids across the street if they have to use the bathroom, and that there is some shade there. But
So
I don't know why they moved from cricket other than location.
These are all very small groups. Like
Right.
I could fit on like 2 picnic tables. Is there no facility within Temple Beth Shalom to sit outside, like under a pop-up tent in a parking lot? Like it just feels like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't accommodate, it just feels like there could be other options for such a small group that wouldn't interfere with some of these larger groups that need that large of a space in order to accommodate their bigger group.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of spaces around town that we could suggest. even spaces with restrooms, which is probably ideal for any place with toddlers, at least in my experience. But Mills has some open space. Once we get the porta potties, Walker Pond will have some, I mean, there's definitely options. I just don't know. I'm not sure why they moved to DeFazio from Cricket. That seemed like the ideal place in the middle of the morning for this. I have not talked to her, but that is an option to suggest to them. I mean, it's still gonna be an issue on Memorial Day, definitely, I think.
Well,
for
maybe
the-
they will,
because of the soccer tournament, but other than that, it should be fine.
Why can't they stay at Cricket or Avery?
right.
Avery doesn't have a bathroom, Cricket does. Avery doesn't have a bathroom to date, but Cricket does.
Cricket has one, is it, or is there,
Cricket has a porta potty currently.
so I think I would prefer they go to Cricket too. I mean, it's a small program, and to put them on what seems to be very desirable space for the larger sports groups doesn't seem to make sense. So if we could put them to Cricket, or, you know, and I think for the soccer tournament, they can't be there. They just can't be there. I don't think they can try to be there and slide in somewhere because there's potentially too many people, too many cars.
Well,
wouldn't-
but looking at, I mean, it may not interfere. It's only until noon. So, you know, kids are still in school. They're probably not playing soccer games quite yet for the tournament. I could
Okay,
be wrong, but
Okay.
we can look at it. Either we'll move them or it doesn't conflict, but we can tell them Cricket it is.
Stacy.
that's, all right.
Stacy, if you don't mind, what was your comment about the tot lot? Like, can we just give them the tot lot
We
as a
can,
possibility? I mean, if they're that kind of up on DeFazio, like, I agree. I don't want to give them the green space at DeFazio because you're right. Eddie Screw's going to be in there cutting grass and maintenance, and there's going to be trucks all over the place. If keep them at Cricket, but if a backup would be only the tot lot. If I
right,
were to
I
give
think
any
the
part at
concern
DeFazio.
is the number of cars at DeFazio for these events and trying to get from the tot lot to the bathrooms with little people.
All right.
Okay.
That's treacherous. That is a tough walk.
It is a tough one.
It is, and they don't give you a lot of time. That when they have to go, they have to go.
So would you like us to approve this with the recommendation to change it to Cricket or change it to a space as to be determined by our director?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve this, if somebody would like to make it with those changes, recommendations in it.
There are 6 requests. I just want to put out, there's 6, just so when we're making the motion to, if we want to total them.
So I'll
Right.
make a motion to approve the special event request for Bumps, Babies and Beyond at the times that are noted in the summary from May 6th to June 18th, as noted, with the agreement to, well, restricted to Cricket and or Avery, right, location wise, or a location that is agreed upon by the director.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Bruce. Thank you. Any questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
All
Okay.
right. Next one is Scouts. No conflicts. They want to go to have Rocket Day. Any questions?
Nope. So we typically approve this. This is the first time I remember having 2 different packs, but maybe I just don't remember that. We had pack 23 on the 22nd of May, and then it looks like in June we have pack 8. So this is pack 23. I think we've dealt with this before. Any questions?
I
I
think it's a
think you
great
combine
event.
these two on a vote.
These done
Okay.
great.
I'd be happy to entertain a motion to combine these two, the pack 23 and the pack 8 requests for Rocket Day.
I'll
Make a
second. Oh,
Gotta
wait,
make the
I
motion
thought
first.
you, sorry, I'll make a motion.
Okay, you make a motion.
Did I
Motion
do that right?
our Hannigan to approve both PAC 23 and PAC 8 requests.
Yes.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Passes unanimously. Okay.
Next one is the BBYO school.
Right.
Looking for a gathering for their seniors, no conflicts, no concerns, recommended fee is $25.
Okay, so these are high school seniors, right? It says seniors, but it's high school seniors. And was there a question about the music on this one? I thought there was a question. They had music, right? What's the resolution of that?
Little Bluetooth speaker just for some ambiance, she said. And then she may or may not be reaching out to the health department to talk about a food truck. It's
Ooh.
prepackaged ice cream at one of the seniors, high school seniors. They have a company that they have, and they would like to have ice cream. So if they want to move forward with a food truck, I told her it has to go through both Sandy and Diana. And unless the commission has a strong objection against it, if they both approve it.
Do we have a whole set of procedures for food trucks?
Through Sandy,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
Do we get a
Michelle?
confirmation of what they would be doing? They're just sitting around eating ice cream? I mean,
It's
right, we
Yep.
weren't sure what the
That's it.
Listen to
event
nice
was.
ambiance music.
An ambiance, okay.
like chit-chatting groups. They just need a space to kind of sit around and talk and listen to some music and eat some ice cream.
This
When it
white
says,
was.
when it says that, sorry, estimated number of people is maximum 30 per session. It's just the one session, right? 12:30
Yep.
to 2:30?
Just a one-time thing.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the BBYO request for the Carlton Pavilion for Sunday, May 23rd from 12:30 to 2:30. I will also make a contingent on them reaching out and getting approval from the Board of Health and the town if they are to have a food truck at this event.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay,
All right, 128 summer clinic. June 21st to June 23rd, which is basically the first week the kids get out of school, 9 to 2. No conflicts. Recommended fee is the $5 per player per day. And that is the current fee we have for clinics.
And this is something they've done many a times before with us, correct?
Yep.
right. And is that the most we can charge? That's the maximum fee we can charge them?
That is in our policies.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe we can add that to the fee policy discussion.
Yeah. Yep, we've dealt with them before. They are a nonprofit, as I understand it. Okay, any questions? No.
No questions.
Okay.
Make a
No
mo-
comment.
Wait, is there gonna be 175 people on the field at the same time?
Groups of 25 or less will be separated throughout Brock and Founders.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Any more questions? No. Entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the 128 lacrosse request for Monday, June 21st through Wednesday, June 23rd.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Needham Youth Girls Field Hockey.
They're looking to
So
hold
I
the
have to
clinic.
recuse myself. Do I leave?
So Dina, this involves you, right?
Yeah, so
Yep.
do we leave the the room? What do I do?
Yes,
you
take a
just
lap
recuse
around the
yourself from the
driveway and
vote.
come back in.
Chris, I knew you were gonna have some sudden comments.
I would say that you just don't participate in the discussion or the vote.
Okay,
Yeah,
And it
you
will
have
be
to duck-
noted in the minutes that you recused yourself from the vote.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a 4-day clinic, 8 to 4 at Brock, max 50 players, $5 per player per day.
Okay, have we done this before?
This is their first clinic with us.
First clinic. Okay. All right.
And no
Anything-
conflicts during that time. No.
No.
Just us, but we can move.
All right. Any more questions? Hearing none, we will, I would entertain a motion.
Make a
I'll make a
motion.
motion to approve the Needham Youth Field Hockey Clinic for DeFazio at Brock for Monday, July 26th through Thursday, July 29th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Second.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? And one abstention, I would say. Okay, great.
Mhm.
You,
Cindy, on the next 4, I'd
Yeah.
like to make a suggestion that you vote on them collectively as a group.
okay?
Needham Soccer Club is looking to run clinics on basically all of DeFazio for different days during the month of August, 8 to 3, maximum 8 to 3:30, my apologies, or 3 to 8, 3:30 to 8. Maximum of 225 players throughout the whole complex, which will be separated. $5 per player per day.
Stacy, is Eddie okay with all of this? You know, we sometimes close our grass fields in the summer. In fact, we used to always close our grass fields all summer. Some of these are artificial turf, but it looks like they will be on some grass. Also,
I can reach out to Eddie. What we could do is have Kristen weigh in right here with whatever she's trying to get in.
Yeah.
I talked
And
to Ed.
then, good,
He didn't think anything needed to be closed this summer.
great.
fabulous. Okay, great. You do remember that though, Kristen, right? We used to close all of our grass fields. Okay.
I'd like to get back to that.
Well, I mean, if Eddie suggests it, you know, we close them, all right, obviously. Okay, any questions, comments from the commissioners? No, hearing none, I would entertain a motion for these 4 requests.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 Needham Soccer Club requests that we have presented in front of us and are noted in our packet as is to be approved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we come to the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, all 4 pass unanimously. Thank you. We're almost done with these. Okay, future permits.
So these are, we're still waiting on more information,
Okay,
correct, for all of them, Kristen?
I have an update for one of them. The Norfolk Lodge, this is apparently something that they did do. They're only looking for the playground at Claxton. They are not actually looking for the field. If the field is open and not permitted, they might throw around a baseball or softball. I did speak to the gentleman. He said that while it very well could be more than 20 people, that no more than 20 have ever shown up. This is the first time last year was the first time in like 20 years that they didn't have this at Claxton. So they're just looking to use the playground, which typically does not have a fee. There's a grill there. They would put a little tiny tent in the top lot area, not anywhere near the irrigation or the field. And they may throw around a baseball.
okay.
One of the things and I was like, but
So then you can go ahead and vote on that one, but the other ones we're still looking for more information, but this is to keep you updated on what is coming.
Oh, okay. Questions from the commissioners on the Norfolk Lodge request?
think it's
Here-
fine. I mean, I say let's put it to a vote.
Okay,
Joe?
Do we often restrict, so we permit a playground, so you wouldn't allow other people to use the playground?
We never permit to exclusive rights, but we would give a permit so somebody could have a party at a playground, but
Okay.
it doesn't exclude anybody. It just means we're aware you're having a party there.
So it's similar to kind of barn babies that used to be at the tot lot where they would use that area, but like people could still use the playground.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
okay. Did someone make a motion? I'm sorry.
I
No.
will make a motion to approve the Norfolk Lodge use of Claxton for Saturday, August 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great, thank you, Bruce. So we have a motion and any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, so you don't need us to vote on the parent talk one or the community council for their Fit Fest.
No, that one will come up soon though, because Memorial just approved it. The trustees did
they
approve
did?
that one.
Ooh, so they had a meeting.
No, they didn't
I tried.
officially approve it, but they are okay with it. So we're gonna bring it to them so that they can approve it
Next meeting, which is next week.
at their
Okay.
next meeting.
Oh, all right.
Officially.
So will
And
that,
before you officially too.
will that be a conflict on that day and Saturday? On that Saturday, I mean, in the fall?
In
We don't know yet because we're not accepting fall permitting.
All right, we're gonna let it go. We'll let that
Oh.
one go. We'll kick that forward. No need to
I'm
get
gonna
into
wait on that one.
have to do tonight. Okay,
So the barn babies one, if we could get an understanding what you guys think of this, that they're looking not to have it at the tot lot this year, they're looking to have it at a pavilion or a covered area. So they're looking to have it at DeFazio. We're reaching out to them to talk about maybe changing the date because that would conflict with the track club that has use of the pavilion on Sunday mornings for their spring permit. The Greens Field covering with that type of event and the closed proximity of Greens Field, we would probably have to make that an exclusive use and not allow other people because of just the amount of space that the animals are going to take up, plus the participants of the program that are registered. So that's where the past practice of the commission comes into play, where we usually have exclusive use. It's more of a what the commission thinks about this request, with or without the conflict of the track club that already has the permit and or closing off greens.
So-
Do they have any feelings about moving the date?
They have not gotten
2
back
weeks
to me about
later?
feelings. They have not gotten back to me about feelings of moving the date. So without having that, we only have this one date request, and it's either it conflicts with track, which uses that space, and then or shutting down greens for a Saturday morning.
so I will speak as one commissioner that I know there are a lot of reasons why people are asking for so many special permits, more than I've seen cumulatively in my years on the commission, quite honestly. But I still feel like the sports groups have these permits, we grant them, they have big programs, they are really important in our town and important to our youth. And I think we have to respect that we give those out. And I have a problem with all these other small groups trying to, fit in here and there, when I think we have places we can put them, like the tot lot, that makes sense. But that's just me, so I won't go any further than that.
I would agree with that. And there's small changes that they could make if you just get a tent that goes over a picnic table and you put it in the tot lot and you put two pop-up tents next to each other, that's about the size of barn babies that I've been to multiple times. So there's ways of changing the existing space that we've provided to them to accommodate their requests. So I would kind of go back and see if there's other creative solutions that they could adapt to in order to make the space more usable for them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, other commissioners, I mean, any comments? I just feel
No,
like
I
people
agree.
space and say,
agree with both you
wow,
two.
this looks great. I'll take this great space.
The one thing is the date's coming up pretty soon, so we need to decide one way or the other.
Yeah, we'll reach out to them tomorrow or early this week. At some point this week.
I mean, I think there is space for them. I just don't think that this space is the best space for us to give to them. I don't know. So. Kristen, Stacy, you have any thoughts on that? You agree, disagree?
I agree. I think that if they can move the dates 2 weeks, changes the whole game.
Mhm.
Right,
Or throw up some tents over at the top lot and we're good to go.
right, okay. All right. That's it for special events? Easy, all right. Now,
Minutes. Krista, did you update that thing already in the minutes?
Update online. I forgot to send it out. I missed a second in the vote on
Yes.
the pricing for last week. It was Chris.
On 5AB,
Guys.
it's already been updated.
before we do that, Stacy, do we need to do that Newari vision statement?
Oh, right, that must be the order of things, huh?
Must be. Must be.
Yes.
I'm-
I would have
mean-
let you vote on it during the discussion, but
I know.
I was just saying it's also an approval item, which is like to Cindy's point, not
Okay.
usually.
Right, exactly. So, I don't know how the commission feels about this, but I'm guessing what we would do is we would just adopt or endorse this statement.
support and
Support.
endorse.
Support, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. We would support this statement. From my point of view, I can't imagine that we wouldn't, but I'm happy to hear any comments or questions from the commissioner. No? Hearing none,
I would support that document.
so is that a motion, Bruce?
I guess it is.
Thank you. All right, so Commissioner Williams makes a motion that we support the Newari vision statement. I think that's what he
Right.
said. And is there a second?
I will second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll come to the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Oh, thank you. Passes unanimously. Thank you, and I appreciate that. So the meeting minutes, can we approve them as they are presented, or do we?
One amendment is just the ratification of the pricing that is adjusted and updated online. It's just not in your packet that was sent on Friday. Michelle made the motion, Chris seconded, and it was approved unanimously.
Okay, I think that we can,
And B.
which one was it? I'm sorry.
I'd be.
5B.
Yep.
Okay. Second. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve these minutes with that small change.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of the Needham Park and Rec Commission for April 26, 2021, with the edited addition to 5B of a motion and a second for the pool and summer bridges pricing approval.
I'll second.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, would come to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Any topics for future meetings that we haven't already covered? Michelle?
Can I just go back? I may have missed when we were talking about the pool schedule. I just had one question on it
Sure.
as it related to the diving board. Just looking at the scheduling just with swim team, lap swimming during the week, lap swimming during the week. And looks like there's very little opportunities for use of the diving board. Is that accurate?
So for the regular schedule, I'll focus on just the
Okay.
normal weeks. Basically, Monday through Thursday, the first 2 time slots, it will be available.
Right, okay,
Not counting that opening weekend, but like normally.
right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the family time slots, it'll be open.
Except for, but it wouldn't, because there's no public swimming. So June 18th through the 15th, 10 to 1:30, Saturday and Sunday. It's in the competitive pool, right? So we wouldn't be able to use that during that time. Every day, Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah, for laps, well, the whole pool will be used for lap swimming.
and isn't the lap pool where the diving board is?
Yes,
Right,
it is.
so you can't use
But we only have family swimming starting at 1:30.
so anyway, you
Oh, I
would-
see what you're saying. Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
So
It
the
just
first
feels
2
like
time
peak
slots, there would be
time. Yeah.
none. But the last 3, there would be.
The last 3 time slots, yeah,
Yes.
in the day, okay.
Yep. So there are some time slots where it wouldn't be available. The Board of Health felt pretty strongly so far. They feel strongly about keeping lap swimming, and swim team, and not having anything. That is one of the areas where I feel like when things open up a little, if our lap swimming numbers aren't there on the weekends, we can change it and do like 3 or 4 lanes of lap swimming and the rest of it can be open. Stuff like that we can definitely change. Or if we just find that it's not being booked, then we'll change it and make it open.
That the
Because I
lap,
don't know that we'll get the same number of lap swimming on the weekends, but we didn't want to not offer it just to see what's happening, because we weren't able to offer it last year.
yep, that makes sense. I just think it is a draw on the weekends, and it's like right in the peak hours to not open it. Like I think lunchtime, like that, I feel like that's a really busy time for
Okay.
families on the weekends, and to not have that feels unfortunate. And I also didn't know if if lap swimming is typically, would people book it for an hour, or would lap swimming, could we book it like 45-minute slots, like more kind of creative, trying to get more people in so
We
that,
do it. We did it last year for an hour, and people swam an hour.
okay,
They weren't, very few got out early. Sometimes the water walkers, but most of the time the lap swimmers were swimming.
and there's no way to have the diving board open while allowing some lanes for swimming, doesn't, because it cuts like,
So in a typical year, yes, we can absolutely do that.
okay,
With the restrictions on COVID, the concerns of the lines
mhm,
to go off the diving board near the lap swimmers, the Board of Health is hesitant. So I think the other thing that we were the only game in town last year for lap swimming. This may not be a need on the weekends. People may have other options that they go to or other things, but at least it gives the option, and we can always change it and adjust it as we go. Because we'll find out pretty quickly if those things are filling up.
And what about the slide?
The slides will be open during the family swims. We have yet to figure out, and we are going to do a little trial by ever, whether or not we open them the entire time for each time slot, or if the lines are too crazy, if we do a certain amount of time, but so that we can have more staff on deck to work with the lines. So if we say like the last half hour of every time slot is just for slides in this one area, then we can move some staff over to work with social distancing in line because they cannot have their masks on. So we'll have to make sure that they're socially distant. But I don't know what we're gonna do yet, other than try a few options.
Okay, well, I do think restrictions are becoming less restrictive, and maybe that will help us out. I don't know. I suspect as the summer goes on, you may be able to do a few more things that we don't right now see it happening. So for the 4th of July, we are really hoping to have a parade. It would be on the Monday morning, and we are right now working with the town and the Board of Health and the police and fire and all that. So it will be a scaled down parade, but it's a good chance we'll have a parade. No fireworks apparently, but perhaps a parade. So stay tuned. All right, anything else? Any other questions, topics for future meetings?
I was just gonna tell you that the person got back to me. It was actually the field hockey thing was sent out by NCE, not Park and Rec.
NCE.
Is it Needham Community
What
Education?
the field hockey?
It's the thing that the high school runs usually every year. It's Rocket Camp, I think.
Oh.
It didn't happen last year because of COVID, so I think it's pending approval. So it's not like actually registering yet. She said.
Does she have a field? Does she have fields already listed?
No, no, she actually doesn't. Yeah. So she misunderstood. Imagine that somebody didn't read their full email.
Imagine that. Perfect. Thank you. Chris, did you have something?
Just a quick question. I know on one of our last meetings we had talked about that Newman had reached out to us about the concern of the tennis courts and around there. I just happened to be at Newman today, and just so I could see how many people were there because it was a decent day, I got out of my car wearing a mask, noticed that there was trash on the other end of the fence, went to go pick it up, and someone from the playground called me out for crossing the fence to go pick up trash. That I wasn't sure how did they ever react to our response of thank you very much, but the Board of Health doesn't think it's concern or anything like that. I wasn't sure if they responded back to you.
Was that after school, Chris, or was that during the day?
It was at 2:42 this afternoon.
So
That's still during school.
yeah.
When I reached out to the assistant principal, it was clarified that it was, the bigger concern was the high school tennis players driving not super safe into that parking lot at the same time that dismissal was happening to go to practice. And they were going in different directions. So I talked to Dan Lee and he bumped practice to 3:30. So we got rid of the issue.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
That was the bigger concern. It was the parking lot and the craziness at the parking lot.
I would say 3:30, it's just as crazy. I don't think that's gonna, that's pickup time.
Right. I haven't heard anything since. So I don't know if he has adjusted even more, but
Yeah.
no complaints.
okay. All right. Anything else from the commissioners? No. Okay. Well, then you see that the next 3 meetings are on listed on our agenda, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn as long as it includes a happy birthday to our director.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to make a motion to adjourn and wish our director, when she clears her eye from crying now,
It's like
happy birthday
burning.
on this Monday, May 10th, and also welcome Fabian to the Park and Rec
Welcome.
department.
Thank you very much.
And I'll be doing my online test tonight, apparently. I do have an email from Deb.
Can I have a second for that motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn. Includes a happy birthday to Stacy and a welcome to Fabian.
Thank you.
So all those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Opposed?
I
Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank
Um,
you.
you.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Happy birthday, Stacy.
Welcome.
Get lime juice in the
Ethan.
eye.